In Thus Spoke Zarathustra, a book for all and none, Friedrich Nietzsche presents a philosophical, poetic work through the teachings of Zarathustra, a prophet who shares his insights on life, humanity, and existence. Written in an allegorical style, the book explores Nietzsche's ideas on the evolution of human potential, the rejection of conventional morality, and the emergence of the Übermensch, or Overman. Through Zarathustra's journey, Nietzsche examines the death of God, the limitations of traditional values, and the possibilities of self-transformation. The book is both a critique of society's moral frameworks and a call to transcend limitations, inviting readers to embrace life with courage, creativity, and a commitment to personal growth. The essence, 80/20ths, the death of God and the need for new values. One of Nietzsche's most famous concepts, the death of God, is central to Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Zarathustra declares that God is dead, symbolizing the decline of religious and traditional moral authority. Nietzsche argues that without a higher power, humanity must redefine its values. He calls for individuals to go beyond inherited beliefs, encouraging them to create their own purpose and moral framework. This declaration is not meant to lead to nihilism, but to a world where people are free to determine their own meaning. The concept of the Übermensch, Overman, the Übermensch, or Overman, represents Nietzsche's ideal of a fully realized individual who creates values and transcends the limitations of ordinary human existence. The Übermensch embodies courage, creativity, and the willingness to live according to self-defined principles rather than social expectations. Zarathustra teaches that humanity is a bridge between the current state and the Übermensch, urging people to embrace this potential. The Übermensch is a goal for humanity, a call for self-overcoming and the creation of a life aligned with one's authentic self. The will to power as a driving force. Nietzsche introduces the idea of the will to power as the fundamental drive within all beings. For Nietzsche, this is not just a desire for control, but a creative force aimed at growth, self-overcoming, and excellence. In contrast to the will to survive or seek pleasure, the will to power drives individuals to push beyond limits, constantly evolving and realizing their fullest potential. Zarathustra's teachings encourage embracing this drive as a means of personal empowerment and transformation. Eternal recurrence. Another key idea in Thus Spoke Zarathustra is the concept of eternal recurrence, which suggests that life and events repeat infinitely. Zarathustra challenges readers to live in such a way that they would be willing to relive every moment endlessly. This idea is both a test of personal values and a call to live fully, free from regret. By accepting the possibility of eternal recurrence, one is urged to embrace each experience with purpose and passion, rather than seeking escape or denial. Self-overcoming and embracing life's challenges. Zarathustra advocates for self-overcoming, the process of continuously challenging oneself to grow and transcend past limitations. Rather than seeking comfort or stability, Nietzsche encourages a life of struggle, resilience, and transformation. He suggests that true fulfillment comes from embracing challenges, suffering, and change as essential to growth. This willingness to face adversity and reinvent oneself is a central theme, promoting the idea of becoming a work of art in progress. The action plan. Define your own values and purpose. Nietzsche's work urges readers to abandon the external moral codes of society and create their own. Reflect on your beliefs and values, questioning which are inherited and which are authentic. Develop a personal code that aligns with your highest aspirations, creating a purpose that is uniquely yours. Embrace the process of self-overcoming. Engage in activities that challenge you to grow, whether through learning, physical training, or creative pursuits. Nietzsche's concept of self-overcoming is about pushing beyond comfort zones, constantly striving to become a more capable, courageous version of yourself. Approach life with a mindset of growth and transformation, embracing setbacks as opportunities. Cultivate the will to power. Channel your energy toward creative, constructive, and fulfilling endeavors. Rather than seeking control over others, direct the will to power inward, using it to enhance your skills, knowledge, and self-understanding. Pursue excellence in areas that matter most to you, and let this inner drive fuel your ambitions. Live with the awareness of eternal recurrence. Ask yourself, would you be willing to live each moment over again eternally? This reflection can serve as a guide to live purposefully and authentically, making choices that align with your values and desires. Embrace experiences fully, without regret, knowing that each moment is part of a life that could potentially repeat itself. Strive toward your inner Übermensch. Use Nietzsche's concept of the Übermensch as a guiding ideal for self-development. Strive to live authentically, courageously, and creatively. Take ownership of your life path, and view yourself as a work in progress. Constantly challenge yourself to reach higher levels of self-realization, rather than conforming to societal expectations. Blind spot. One criticism of Nietzsche's ideas in Thus Spoke Zarathustra is that the call to transcend conventional values may feel abstract or challenging for readers to implement practically. The ideal of the Übermensch can appear elitist or inaccessible, as it sets a high bar for self-transformation. Additionally, Nietzsche's rejection of conventional morality may seem too radical, as some individuals find meaning in shared values and community bonds. For those who benefit from traditional values, Nietzsche's philosophy might feel destabilizing or extreme. Connected Knowledge, Beyond Good and Evil, by Friedrich Nietzsche. This work expands on the themes in Thus Spoke Zarathustra, offering a critique of traditional morality and exploring the nature of truth and values. Beyond Good and Evil delves deeper into the ideas of self-overcoming and the will to power, complementing the teachings of Zarathustra. Man's Search for Meaning, by Viktor Frankl. Frankl's exploration of purpose and resilience in the face of suffering offers a compassionate counterpart to Nietzsche's call for self-overcoming. Frankl's belief in finding meaning through challenges aligns with Nietzsche's philosophy, though Frankl emphasizes the importance of community and empathy. The Hero with a Thousand Faces, by Joseph Campbell. Campbell's work on the hero's journey and self-realization resonates with Nietzsche's vision of the Übermensch as a life of continual transformation and growth. Campbell's archetypes offer a structured lens for understanding Nietzsche's ideas on personal evolution and transcendence. Would you like to explore specific passages or symbols in Thus Spoke Zarathustra, or discuss how Nietzsche's ideas have influenced modern existential or psychological thought? Yes, ChatGPT. Let's dive deeper into specific passages, symbols, and how Thus Spoke Zarathustra has influenced modern existential and psychological thought. Key passages and symbols in Thus Spoke Zarathustra: the three metamorphoses, the camel, the lion, and the child. Early in the book, Zarathustra describes three stages of personal transformation: the camel, the lion, and the child, each symbolizing a different phase of self-overcoming. The camel represents a stage of obedience and burden-bearing, where one accepts societal norms, responsibilities, and sacrifices without questioning. The lion symbolizes rebellion and independence. Here, one rejects external authority and develops the courage to say no to imposed values and constraints, claiming personal freedom. The child embodies creativity, playfulness, and the ability to say yes to life. The child represents the final stage of self-overcoming, where one is free to create and explore without being bound by past beliefs or limitations. The rope over the abyss. Zarathustra often speaks of humanity as a bridge or a rope stretched over an abyss, linking the human state with the Übermensch. This metaphor emphasizes the transitional nature of humanity, suggesting that we are not a finished product but rather a bridge to something greater. For Nietzsche, life is an ongoing process of growth, risk, and self-transformation, where individuals must embrace their potential despite the inherent challenges and uncertainties. This symbol encourages readers to take bold steps forward, even if that path may feel precarious. The dancing and laughing. Zarathustra's dancing and laughing reflect Nietzsche's ideal of amor fati, or love of fate. For Nietzsche, accepting life in all its complexities, including suffering, impermanence, and death, is essential to living authentically. Through dance and laughter, Zarathustra embodies a light-hearted embrace of existence, showing that true strength lies in facing reality joyfully, without denial or resistance. This attitude reflects Nietzsche's rejection of asceticism and his belief that life, with all its hardships, should be celebrated. The shadow. Zarathustra's encounter with his own shadow symbolizes the internal struggle that comes with self-overcoming. The shadow represents the darker aspects of oneself, such as fear, doubt, or ego. By confronting the shadow, Zarathustra acknowledges the complexity within, showing that growth requires facing inner conflicts. This theme of integrating one's darker side resonates with Carl Jung's later psychological work on the shadow self, encouraging individuals to embrace and integrate all aspects of themselves to achieve wholeness. Influence on existential thought. The quest for authenticity and personal meaning. Nietzsche's rejection of imposed values and emphasis on self-created meaning laid the foundation for existentialism. Philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus were deeply influenced by Nietzsche's ideas, especially the belief that life has no inherent meaning and that individuals must create their own. For existentialists, like Nietzsche, authenticity comes from rejecting conformity and facing the absurdity of life with courage, even when that means inventing one's own purpose and accepting responsibility for one's choices. Freedom and responsibility. Nietzsche's call to reject conventional values and embrace self-determination influenced existentialist ideas on freedom and responsibility. Sartre's assertion that existence precedes essence echoes Nietzsche's belief that people are not defined by external labels or doctrines but have the freedom to shape themselves. However, with this freedom comes the responsibility to live authentically, which can be both liberating and daunting. Nietzsche's Übermensch embodies the ideal of self-responsibility, taking ownership of one's values and identity. The embrace of life and rejection of nihilism. Nietzsche anticipated the rise of nihilism, the belief that life has no meaning or value, following the death of God. However, rather than succumbing to despair, he encouraged a passionate embrace of life. This approach influenced existentialists like Camus, who argued for revolt against the absurdity of existence by finding personal meaning and beauty in a world devoid of absolute truths. Nietzsche's philosophy promotes a proactive, life-affirming approach to meaning, urging individuals to construct significance rather than resign to emptiness. Influence on psychological thought. The shadow self and Carl Jung was greatly influenced by Nietzsche's ideas, especially the concept of the shadow. Jung interpreted Nietzsche's shadow symbol as the hidden, often repressed parts of the psyche that individuals must confront to achieve personal growth. Jung's theory of individuation, the process of becoming one's true self, involves integrating these unconscious aspects, much like Nietzsche's call to confront and overcome internal limitations. For Jung, acknowledging the shadow is essential for psychological health, as it enables a person to become whole and balanced. Self-actualization and the Übermensch. Nietzsche's Übermensch influenced the development of humanistic psychology, particularly Abraham Maslow's idea of self-actualization. Maslow described self-actualization as the drive to realize one's fullest potential, a concept that resonates with Nietzsche's vision of the Übermensch as a person who transcends limitations and lives according to self-defined values. Both Nietzsche and Maslow encourage a life centered on growth, creativity, and authenticity, advocating for self-empowerment as the highest human pursuit. The will to power as a motivational force. Nietzsche's idea of the will to power as the drive behind human behavior has also influenced psychological theories of motivation. While Freud believed in the will to pleasure, and Adler in the will to overcome inferiority, Nietzsche's will to power proposes that people are driven by a desire for growth, achievement, and self-expression. This notion has parallels in modern psychology, where the desire for autonomy, mastery, and self-improvement is seen as a core human motivation. Conclusion. Thus Spoke Zarathustra has left a profound mark on philosophy and psychology, inspiring generations to question inherited values, seek self-transformation, and embrace the full spectrum of life. Nietzsche's exploration of self-overcoming, authenticity, and courage continues to resonate with those drawn to a life of personal growth and meaningful existence. His philosophy challenges readers to live creatively, embrace adversity, and construct lives rooted in truth and individuality.